Hello, ladies and gentlemen. And so this is basically how we wanted to let you know that we don't want these podcasts to be scripted, and we want it to kind of come from the heart.
Yes.
And by that note, welcome to Spill the Tea.
Spill the tea.
Come a girl. So I'm Nancy.
And I'm Nancy.
No, we're not the same person. We're just two individual melanin queens roaming through the city of London.
Yeah.
I work in tech and I work as an agile coach, and I'm also a self-professed feminist, and I drink coffee and know things. I stole that from Game of Thrones.
Oh, who said that again? Gosh, I don't even know how to introduce myself now after that intro of yours. So I'm the other Nancy. I am a student, still studying, and I work part-time as well in hospitality, also known as the First Aid Restaurant, Paternoster Chop House. Shout out.
We want a free meal for that. So basically, we started Spill the Tea because me and Nancy chat a lot of shit. Yes, and sometimes out of that shit comes nuggets of wisdom. And this has actually been in the pipeline for a long time. But we decided to finally start adulting, stop procrastinating, or at least try to, and pick up the pen and paper and do this shit. So Spill the Tea.
Finally.
I guess what you can expect is we take a question in each episode and we just have some candid conversations about those questions. And ultimately, hopefully, those questions kind of give you ideas on how to survive this complex, weird dance called adulting.
Exactly.
Because Lord knows we're both figuring it out and I'm figuring it out.
Yeah.
My emotions today have been literally like
up and down.
Up and down is to put it nicely. I felt like I was turning into Shrek, then the Hulk, then freaking Mini-Me to back to the Hulk, and all in the space of 24 hours. So usually by the end of the day, I'm pretty exhausted because I'm just trying to figure things out. And Nancy, not me, but other Nancy as well. So yeah, so Nancy's the one who picked the first question for our first episode.
Yes. So I picked this question because, as you may know, I've been doing a lot of self-reflect lately.
Finally.
Just trying to be getting to know myself better, getting to know my limits, expectations that I have for myself, just have a deeper and better perspective of who I am. And these questions came across to me, which is, what's the best part of being you?
Right. So I was going to say, I ultimately think about the times where I didn't think I had any best parts, right? And I think about the time when I was easily influenced by people, friends, family, and I had very little kind of like barriers. I wouldn't say like borders, kind of like limits where I would tell people like, look, you can't pass this line when it comes to me.
Yeah.
And the lines are always blurred. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that I wasn't sure about what it was I was offering to people. And kind of like, what is my treasure that I'm protecting? And I don't know, I feel like as women as well, we're just kind of like, your value is in how many people like you.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in what is it that you're great at. It's what's your reputation like.
Yeah. Do you think that this past few years, that you kind of figure out what are the best part of you, of being you?
Yeah, I think the thing that jumps to my mind is how unapologetically honest I can be.
I have the same problem as well.
And because it comes from a really good place, right? So I used to like bite my tongue a lot when people would do shit, or so basically I'll tell you guys a funny story. Last week I was on my way to work, and basically what happened was it was piss raining in London. And for those who live in London, you will know what I mean when I say last week. Actually, by the time you guys hear this episode, we're in November. So this was Tuesday last week. I don't remember the date, but it was in September. Why did I say November? I mean October. So basically, it was piss raining. I'm walking by and this truck is about to pass, and this builder, Nancy huffed because it was, this builder was basically trying to like move all of the pedestrians, the walkers kind of aside so that they don't get injured by this truck that's trying to park. And this asshole of a man basically refuses to acknowledge the builder and walks past through the tractor, and he's about to get hurt. And the builder is like, dude, like, come on. What's wrong with you? Just like trying to help you out. And he just kind of dismisses this builder as if he's a piece of shit. And obviously being radical, honest Nancy, I walk up to the guy in the politest way. I'm like, hey, they're just trying to do their job.
Yeah.
To which he responds, you should go back to your country, go back to America. I'm just going to put the record straight. I'm not American. I've been to America once in my life, which was last year for a total of 4 days to Springfield, Missouri. I'm going to leave that information right there for people trace back why I was there. Honestly, it was nothing illegal. I was there for legal reasons. It was for work. But it was just so like... crazy. So, but again, I don't think if I didn't practice being honest and I didn't love that about myself, I would have been able to stand up at that situation. Oh, by the way, after he said I should go back to my country, I told him that I'm not American, you racist, C-word, asshole.
Yes.
And
better tell him.
I just think as a Black woman, you just have to be unapologetic sometimes because otherwise you deal with so much shit.
Exactly.
So yeah, I love that I'm honest, but I don't know if I would say honesty. So there's a book that I love called Radical Candor. So honesty can often be kind of taken as like someone who's like frank and can be quite like negatively honest.
Yeah. And
candor is like you care, like your honesty comes from a place of care. And I love that about myself. Although it pisses my friends and family off because usually they're like, dude, I just need you to like bitch and moan with me for a few hours. And I'm like, no, but have you thought about this?
I've had it a few times. And I'm like, just complain with me. I don't need your deep inside about what's wrong.
Exactly. But what about you? What comes to mind?
I think it's the same thing. I think maybe it was just in the household that we grew up in. That, you know, we can't speak out or we can't object against anything, that we just kept everything in.
Yeah, now it's like verbal diarrhea.
Exactly.
Honesty.
And I think once we kind of remove ourselves from that space and start to grow and start to get ourselves to, you know, better, that honestly, like you said, came out. I mean, sometimes some people say my honesty is sometimes a bit brutal, but I just give it as it. I tell people, do you want me to lie to you or do you want me to tell you how it is?
But here's the thing. I don't think people have done the homework for themselves in terms of, am I ready to hear the truth?
Exactly.
I might demand other people to be honest, but am I ready to hear the truth?
To hear the truth as well, yeah.
Okay, so I'm just thinking as well, like, what have I learned about myself that I like? I like how stupidly passionate I am. So this actually used to be like something I downplayed a lot, and I still do sometimes. And it was because I remember I was 13 years old and I was basically like this Black girl in this pretty, now when I look back, white, upper middle class, preppy, private school. Even though I was Black, definitely not middle class in anything, maybe middle class in like my mentality. No joking. And essentially, I think I just really wanted to be accepted. By this like community, right? And I really also wanted the guys to like me. But dude, now I know, and representation, yada yada yada, dating, influencing, whatnot. But I remember I was like 14 and this guy was like, oh my God, you're so bossy. And ever since I heard that, I always downplayed my ambition. And I forgot who it was, but there was a girl I was friends with when I was in high school, and she passed on a comment saying like, you never finish stuff?
What?
Right? She said, I never finish stuff. And I think that, so never finishing stuff and then always being bossy, but made me feel really anxious about starting things.
Yeah.
And when I started things, I would force myself to see it through, even though I knew it was going to fail. And what I didn't know actually is that I'm a creator. I am someone who creates. And because I create a lot, I'm able to let go of things. So it's not that I don't finish things.
Yeah.
It's just I'm quick to start things. And as soon as I identify that it brings no value, I let go of it. Yeah. And I freaking love that about myself because it means that
Yeah, that's true. You're always coming up with new ideas. And I'm just there like, I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to wear tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, but that's where I think my strength is that I am great with coming up with ideas, but I need a team of people around me. But what I'm getting to is that like, this was something that I pushed down for so long and thought it was a problem. And now when I got older, I started to realize, fucking hell, it's my superpower. I come up with ideas. Yeah. Left, right, and center. True. And I can let go of it quickly when I see that it brings no value. And I guess there's an entrepreneurial spirit attached to that. Yeah. So I don't know. Anything else that comes to your mind?
No, I was just thinking about me. I was just thinking about, I've just reached a point where I'm just really comfortable with myself.
Too comfortable?
Not comfortable. Like, I'm just good and happy with myself. Like, just comfortable. Like, in a way, you know how we all think about, oh gosh, like a bigger fit, body figure or what to dress or the hair or whatever and all this stuff. And I'm just like, I've just reached a place where I'm just happy with who I am and really comfortable with myself. And I feel like it's one of the things that what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know. Like, let me know when you find it.
Like it just, it just comes out.
She's currently kind of
trying to
pull her heart out of her chest.
I'm trying to pull out the word that I'm looking for. And
did you find it?
I can't now. I lost it. I can't find the word. I'll never find it.
I think you made a good point though about like feeling comfortable with yourself physically, perhaps. Yeah. Because I wonder, like, if none of these models existed, or if there wasn't an ideal version of a body type, would you dislike parts about yourself, or would you want to change what you currently have now? And I asked myself that question. I was
if we never had the models and
I was like,
body image.
Yeah, because I was like, if I had nothing to compare my body with, would I want to change my body? And I said no. No. And then I was like, fuck that. Leaving it alone.
Exactly.
Leave it alone. And it's really funny. There's a quote I read which was like, stop hating the one thing that's going to protect you.
That's a good one.
And that's your body, right? Yeah. Because when you're sick, it tries to protect you. Yeah. It tries to heal you. Yet we yet we kind of treat it with so much shit. Exactly. It's the one thing that came with you on this planet. It's the one thing that's going to leave with you when you go away.
True. I mean, you'll be gone, but it will still be there rotting. Just saying.
That's a really sad image.
Sometimes I go dark.
You really do. Probably all of those like manga stuff you watch and stuff like that.
I like Korean drama. It's
fun. What I also started to kind of love about myself? The fact that I wear wigs and weaves. Because I used to be so embarrassed about that.
How do you feel like this whole natural movement with the Black community going on, and guys and, some guys and other people judging about us wearing weave and on, but like I told you, there was this guy I was saying, and started asking questions like, is this your real hair? And I'm like, some part of it. Yes, it did. I was like, some part of it. Oh, and he was like, why don't you just go natural? Like, I don't know, or do like braids or afro. And I'm like, do you know the effort you need to put in natural hair to keep it healthy? Like, listen, I just don't do weave to look pretty and look good. I do it because it protects my natural hair underneath it. It was like, I told you, I think you really look good with an afro or natural. And I'm like, boy, bye. Next.
I don't need you to define for me what beauty means. Exactly. I will do that myself.
Exactly. Thank you.
And I also think it's super ironic that people will say, embrace your naturalness and your natural this and your natural quav. But all the people that they follow and the pictures they like the most on Instagram don't represent that. No. And I also think that, dude, it's also genetics. I looked at my baby pictures the other day. I was not born with hair. the same freaking like receding hairline I had when I was a baby is the same one I still have. So I'm like, fuck you, your natural hair movement. Like, you know, oh, what's that cartoon where the girl had like,
is it the family thing?
it's like with all of these babies. It's like a group of babies and they all have diapers.
Is it the Rugrats?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know the baby with like
With the red
the
hair.
twins.
The twins, yeah.
And the one who basically had like
the red hair.
fuck all hair.
Yeah.
That was me. And I still feel like that today.
Yeah.
So I love my weaves and I love my wigs. I think sometimes in the changing room in the gyms, it can feel really awkward because you just I generally get like side eye from Caucasian women a lot.
Yeah.
And it's like with a loaded judgment. And it was to the point where I would actually like sort out my hair in the bathroom because I just got fed up with being looked at like I was something weird with me.
Yeah.
And I would dress up, do my makeup, go to the bathroom, so to the toilet, the cubicle, and sort out my hair.
Oh.
Right? Dude, the toilet is clean.
Oh, okay.
But I'm trying to convey like how like what happens when you care too much.
It's so sad.
And then one day my boyfriend was like, they don't understand.
Yeah.
And then I was like, fuck them. They don't understand.
True.
So now I have this confidence of like whacking on my wig, which is funny. And I just think it's the beauty of being a Black woman, being able to go blonde one day and then brunette the next day.
Right.
Yeah.
And then people will be coming, how do you do it with your hair?
Magic, bitch.
I tell them it's Black girl's magic. Yes.
Yeah.
Black girl's magic. Yes. Look it up.
Yeah, no, I think hair is something that has always been at the forefront of expression, especially amongst Black culture and Black women. And
you know, Black men as well.
I'm sure, yeah, Black men as well.
Black men as well.
And I think it's just we have more tools to play with.
Yeah.
I see it like that.
I don't know. Let's say if we switch hair, like white people had our kinky hair and we will have like this.
Dude, our hair, like we define gravity.
It bounces back.
No, but think about it. If gravity is constantly pulling something down, but my afro is standing up, like we define gravity. How epic of a mindset is that?
We can go straight and curly and whatever. That's just like that.
But and I love my fro and I love my weaves and I've got this style that I've built for myself with a fringe and my wig that I wear. And I freaking love that. It's part of this identity I have.
Exactly.
But I also really I think my fro for me, I love where it is now. I just want it to be healthy. Yeah. I know, as I said, I'm like Rugrat baby, receding hairline. So there's a genetic limit for me. I think I'm not a scientist.
Yeah.
But dude, I also just don't have the lifestyle to be dealing with my hair. I wake up in the morning.
That's too much trouble. At
5, go to the gym.
Yeah.
And then go straight into work and then come home. No. And then I'm trying to build my empire of, I don't know what, but something. So I just don't think you have time. So I think it's all about prioritizing. If I was a vlogger, like a natural hair vlogger, maybe, but.
No. I love my weave. Like, I love my weave, my wigs. It's part of me. I don't know. I've tried natural, like doing braids and all this stuff, and that was just not me.
You just don't feel like it's you, right?
Yeah, it's just different. It was fun for a month and so, with the braids, but then I felt like this is not me. I need my sass. I need my diva. I need my Beyonce to come out. I need my Queen Bee. I need to be Michelle Obama. I need to be, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I want to be Ratchet, Cardi B, but I want to be Michelle.
I want to be a princess, a queen, but I want to be.
No, I get what you mean. I mean,
girl the next day. It's like
I remember when I decided after 2-3 years of being natural. I love how this has turned into like a hair chat. After 2-3 years of being natural, I decided to do a kind of like a hair treatment at Mason Style Hair in Brixton, London. Honestly, epic place, awesome staff, awesome service, awesome prices. Check it out. They didn't pay for this ad. I just really, really love
now
them.
that you do that, I have to do an ad for my own as well.
I really, really love them. But this is in London. But what I'm getting to is that I did that and I was feeling myself. I was walking like I had the I'm walking on sunshine. I post a picture on Instagram and all of a sudden, open the floodgates of comments. Let it rain.
Oh, God. Well, were they bad or something?
Yeah, because it was like, oh my God. Why won't you embrace being a black girl? Oh my God. That better not have been straightened. Oh my God. You gotta be with your kings. And I'm like, screw you. It's the 21st century. I've got my rights.
Yeah.
If I want to put
it's
some
your hair.
chemical shit in my hair,
yeah,
I do it.
Exactly.
Obviously, I get that there's like a whole history behind it, but I think to a certain extent, you gotta look towards the future as well. And then there comes a point where you have to decide, what does this mean for me?
True.
And I just love that I embrace the diversity of hairstyles these days.
Exactly. I feel like it gives you some confidence as well. The hair, just a bit. It's not like it gives you confidence, but it feels so much more power. I don't know, not powerful. You feel so much more.
But here's the thing, right?
Different.
I think you got to figure out what it is that actually like adds value to your mental health. Mm-hmm. And if doing a weave does that, dude, do it.
Just do it. I mean,
like, absolutely. Is there anything that you've discovered about yourself that you really started to like when you moved to London?
Oh gosh, where can I start? But I feel like I got more confident in a way. I felt more acceptance towards myself. As you may know, I've not always been this. I'm a shy girl. I used to be a shy girl as well. What's that face?
She's lying, by the way. Go on.
No, I felt like London gave me balls.
Yeah, because it's gonna fucking kill you, spit you out, and
I swear to you, I remember after the first year when I was in London, I went back to Belgium to visit family and friends, and they were all just like, "You're so different." Like my personality is different. I'm more, especially around family. I used to be very close. You know what I mean? Not so expressive. I'm like talking and I'm like...
You look like Chance the Rapper right now. Sorry, go on.
What the fuck? Are you serious?
Sorry, go on. I think it's your hat.
I feel I'm rocking the hat. And
so she's wearing like a New York Yankee hat and it's kind of like a high top and she's got this like bushy curls coming out and I'm looking at her face and all I can see is Chance the Rapper. Anyways, go on.
Oh, Lord. Okay. So, one thing I noticed by myself is I've changed attitude more wise. What's another word for bitchier?
For what?
A more decent word for being a bit more. Yeah. More RuPaul Drag Race. I used to be Glee. I used to be Glee. People that don't know Glee, check it out. And I moved to London and I'm like, Miss wherever from RuPaul. I'm RuPaul from RuPaul Drag Race with comments and all.
Yeah, you probably
comments, dressing, confident, like everything. Honestly, I think it's one of the best decisions that I ever made.
Shit, so what would I be?
Moving to London. Like what?
Sorry, you're looking at like Glee to... So you've gone from Glee to RuPaul.
Yeah. Because
I don't know where I feel like I'm Glee.
No, you used to be like Avril Lavigne.
So I've gone from Avril Lavigne to like Glee.
You were like skater chick. That was you. Let me tell you this story, yeah? After a few years, Nancy and her family were living in the Netherlands. She moved to Belgium and then they came to visit us at our place. I have not seen this girl for years now. She came to my... Last time I saw her, she was just like this kid that couldn't eat any food that we were eating.
Oh yeah, because I was on a diet 24/7.
Yeah.
Even in Disneyland, I was on a diet. Everyone else ate biscuits and chocolate. My mom, bless her soul, but she's like, no, you are not going to eat that chocolate. And you are not going to eat the bacon.
I tried to sneak her some bacon.
She tried to sneak me bacon. My mom saw it. She's like, Lassie, drop that bacon. Put it on the plate. I don't want you to eat it. Next thing I know, I get some like dry turkey ham slice and she's like, eat it. And I'm like,
I felt so sorry. You look so miserable, but I felt like I was making the trip miserable for everyone.
you were.
I was such a tomboy, and my mom was forcing me to wear like this girly dress. Like, it was so red with flowers on it. And she wanted me to wear like this white shoe that had little heels on it. And I'm like, you want me to walk around Disneyland with shoes with damn little heels on it? You know what I mean? Nah, man. I made that trip in hell, crying and complaining.
Most of the
shouting.
pictures, everyone looks miserable, and Nancy looks the most miserable.
I did not want. So, anyways, what was I saying? So, you went for that girl, and then seeing you a few years later, suddenly you're like a skater chick. You're like talking like, oh yeah, man. Oh, dude, you should see my drawing. Like, you were like, she was like an artist, like skateboarding and drawing pictures and things. She was like, oh my God, you should still like, do you want to see my 360? And she was in our kitchen, people in our kitchen, not outside because she couldn't go outside.
Wasn't allowed to go outside.
She was not allowed to go outside. So she did like a spin thingy in our kitchen floor. And I was just there like, yes, interesting.
Yeah.
And then you moved to London, and I came to visit you for summer. Remember?
Yeah.
I think you were in the last year of uni then.
Yeah.
I came to visit you for the summer, and then you were like geeky.
I don't know if I was
student.
geeky.
A bit geeky student, but very outgoing. You were like into very partying. Like, stories you would tell me that you've been through here in London, like party wise, I was like, I felt so innocent. I felt like, Teresa or whatever compared to you at that moment.
No, but you know what it was? So I leave this small town and I come to like the city of London and, the city of something. Anyways, I come to London and it's just this like, so what I'm trying to get to is that London it's crazy the amount of stuff that you get exposed to. And I think for some people, it's a bit of a shell shock and they're like, nope, I'm going to go back to my safety zone. So obviously I started to kind of like, I used to work for xoxo and The Nest. I don't even know if it's still there because I don't really go out anymore. I have literally turned into a hermit.
Granny.
I stan. We stan.
We stan.
But I used to work for these clubs and I just, because I still love music and I used to love music even more back then. And I just loved going to the gigs. And I think London was just one of those cities where the next night your favorite DJ is up. And then 2 days later, Waka Flocka was there. And then you go and see him. And then a week later, you have deadmau5 doing a massive DJ set by Embankment. And that was the London that I met. I'm not sure if London is like that now.
Changed a lot.
But back then, it was definitely like...
I remember, man. You would take me like I remember that night, you took me to a grunge concert. You saw it. Do you remember my face that night?
No.
When it was like, this was my face. Like, the fuck did you take me to? And people, I don't know if some people know grunge music. Basically, someone just shouting in a microphone, going, and I was just there like, yeah.
I'm a chameleon when it comes to music. I will listen to anything.
And then another day, you just took me like to a really nice rooftop bar club singing.
So here's the thing, right? I think London is for people who are just extremely multifaceted, meaning that they've got multiple layers to them. And because I feel like there's every part in London that you can feel comfortable in.
I feel like that's why a lot of people come to London, because London has a place for everyone.
Yeah, and if you have multiple personalities, no judgment.
You can check out, there's a place for all your personalities.
Absolutely. So it doesn't ever feel like you've got to get rid of one particular thing. So, yes, grunge to hip-hop to dubstep to techno. Yeah, but I don't know. I'm really happy I moved down to London.
I mean, talking about when, from knowing you from all the way back, from back then to now, moving from there to there to there, how you were, all this stuff. What is it about me that you know, just curious? Just curious. I mean, I'm sure I've seen a lot of change in you, but there's always like this common thread in you as well, which is your creativity, always looking for something new and always want to build or start something.
Yeah.
That's the red line in you that I always see from beginning when you were a child till now.
But I also feel like I'm reverting back to a lot of things I did when I was younger and I didn't embrace. So I didn't embrace that I was actually quite studious. I didn't embrace that I was extremely quirky. And I didn't embrace that I was also quite geeky at the same time. And I didn't embrace that I was a hermit. And I think now I'm at a stage where I am almost done trying to impress people. Almost. Not there yet. And I'm starting to kind of find myself loving the things that I pushed away when I was younger. What I've observed about you is I think you are just starting to discover how much talent you have.
Oh, I have talent.
You're such a fucking weirdo. I think you are discovering you. And you're discovering how much talent you have. And what I mean by that is I think you've come from a place where you didn't have many people tapping into their talent because everyone kind of just accepted the status quo.
Living. Yeah.
And you then come to a city like London where there is no status quo and you have to shape the status quo for yourself.
Exactly.
And I think part of that journey for you was kind of saying, fuck you to the past and embracing who you are today. So yeah, I'm excited about the future for you. I still think that perhaps as you kind of close the chapter with studying, there is quite a handful of things that you'll want to explore.
Yeah.
But I think that's just really kind of like, that's going to be addressed when the time's right.
Can't wait. It's a few months.
You will feel like a weight has been lifted off your shoulder once you see that like graduation kind of tick off your
checklist.
Your checklist. Yeah, I think you've come a long way. I think you are in a place where maybe 5 years ago, I'm not sure you thought you would be here, and I'm not sure your friends back home and the family back home would. Yeah, and I just don't think that they see the potential you see. But I think you are currently living the potential that you had 5 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
Sometimes we forget that. Sometimes we forget that the stuff that we have today, we actually prayed or meditated and kind of like that. Those were the goals for us. And we forget about that. Like you're living the blessing that you wish you had back then. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely, I think the idea of like liking stuff about yourself is this like lengthy journey.
It is.
But I think what starts to happen is you just start to give less of a shit. Like the switch. There's a switch that happens in your head.
I switched that button a while ago.
That's because you're getting close to 30.
Shut the fuck up. I'm 20-something, people.
Passive aggressive.
20-something. So, yeah.
Dude, I dare you. Go onto LinkedIn, Google her name. You will see her age.
Don't you dare.
Or just DM me.
Just look at my face. I'm a baby. No. Like you said, I think getting to know yourself a journey and a process. It doesn't happen in 1, 2, 3. It's something that should I say daily?
It's daily, but oh my God. So we didn't even talk about this. I also think a big chunk about like getting to like yourself is letting go of people who don't like you. And I'm not talking about your enemies. I'm talking about your ambivalent friends. And what I mean with ambivalent, it's the people who you don't know if they like you and you don't know if they hate you. They're the ones.
The worst.
They're the ones who are kind of in your life, and the way how you identify these people is when you tell them something good, their response is, "Okay," or they start to list the reasons they give you a list of reasons why it wasn't a good thing, and that's how I think you identify it. They're the people who don't celebrate with you when good things happen, and I think those are ambivalent people. They got to go.
If you don't know where they're standing in life.
They got to go. Absolutely. Because people who don't like you, and you know that that's the status of the relationship, like the line is there.
At least
and then people you do like and they like you, the line is there. It's the ones who are in that gray space. And I think what you want to focus on is, first of all, I think as you like yourself, you have fewer friends anyways, which is funny because women want to be liked, or at least, I don't know, I'm just stereotyping right now and I shouldn't. But what I'm trying to get to is that there are just so many dead weight hanging around. And if you want to float and do you and like yourself, you got to cut it off.
You can float too.
You can float. Let's float.
You can float too. It comes from the movie It with the clown.
Oh, fuck that. No, I don't do horror movies, but you get what I mean?
No,
like they're family and friends who are just, they sit in the ambivalent kind of category.
They're waiting for your failure.
And I just don't...
Cut yourself off from that people.
So I think the first thing that you should do is start jotting down the names of people who, when you share good news with them, they start to kind of look at you and they're like, Or when you share an idea with them, they don't think, oh, that's interesting. How can we make it better? They just start to break it down. They say like, why it's not good. You don't need those people because I think you self-deprecate yourself already enough in your head. Exactly. And you don't need...
I have that. I overthink everything, like everything.
So why would you need someone else in your life to do the same thing?
Exactly.
Because you're an expert at it.
Exactly.
So that's what I think. So
Sorry. I feel like we just touched different points. We started from one point and then we go different ways. But I felt like it was still in the same radar.
I think so
about
too.
Yourself, about what you love about yourself and all.
Like the question itself is loaded like an AK-47.
Yeah.
There are many layers that have to be peeled, as Shrek would say, for us to get to the core. He didn't say that part.
Was that not like with the onion? Was that like an onion thing?
So what did I say?
AK-47. You used the gun.
No,
Just saying.
We know where my thoughts are. Yeah. So, guys, I think that's it for today.
Yes. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed it. We tried to be funny, although my humor is personally quite dry.
So dry.
I don't need you to self-deprecate me. I can do it myself. Thank you guys so much for being here. And if you have a topic in your own mind that you think about, like, let us know on our Instagram. Just be like, hey girls, hey, spill the tea. I've been thinking about this lately, and then we can just bring it up and hopefully give you an answer or a tip or something. Yeah, kind of like an agony aunt. Exactly. Because Lord knows, I think our friends use us. Like literally, we had a friend who was going through some shitty situations, and she had both me and Nancy sit with her and be her agony aunt. So we should do that for the world. Exactly. That might make people a bit happier. But do we mention how often our podcast is going to come? Yeah. So we were thinking of rolling out our podcast on the 1st of each month, just to kind of like give us enough time to prep around kind of the topic we wanted to do, and kind of have chats around how long we wanted to have it. And this gives you guys enough time if you want to like us to answer any specific questions. Exactly. We're more than happy to do that. But yeah, so find us on Instagram. We are at Spill the Tea. Spill the Tea. Girl. Go to our Instagram. We'll post the link of the podcast. Yeah. And in the description box, it will be the link to the Spill the Tea Girl account. You can also follow our private account, which is Nancy Itwa. And mine is Nancy_Ewa1. And I don't mean Obi-Wan Kenobi or where's Owen or may the force be with you. Or no, you know what? It'll all be in the description box. Nancy's account, her personal account, is all about kind of like, I guess, student life, working in a restaurant, fashion, traveling, lots of fashion. By the way, I'm going to start upgrading my Instagram. You know, I don't post that many. I post like once in so many months, but I feel like I should put a bit more life into my social media. I feel like you should do that as well. Yeah. So first I need to upgrade phones. It'll upgrade your life as well. For me,
yeah.
I think if you want quotes, good vibes, kind of transparency around my vulnerability and my journey as a leadership coach and agile, or just kind of like what's up with Nancy, just check out the page. It'll be in the description box.
I need to do a shout out, or else she will never forgive me.
We need to do a shout out. Go ahead.
I need to do a shout out to my auntie Dana from Dana Underground Styles. If you're in Belgium, best hairdress salon for women and men. So get your hair done. You can see on my Instagram the styles that she can do. She can
Instagram or Instagram?
Instagram.
Mm.
Instagram. Just check it out. And thanks again, guys, for listening. Deuce,
and see you around.
See ya.